If you or someone you know has diabetes, you may have built up an extra supply of test strips and lancets. That's where we come in. We'll buy the supplies that you don't need and resell them to those in need to prevent waste. Help us make diabetes management more affordable. Visit us at teststripswithaz.com.
All right, we have Frank Camacho on the program. When this man steps in the octagon, entertainment accompanies it. He's going to return to action October 26th in Singapore, taking on Beneil Dariush. Let's check in with the Crank right now. How are you, man?
Very good, very good. Thank you for having me, man.
Absolutely. So we are a couple of days away from this fight. 15 days, as a matter of fact, against a tough competitor in Beneil Dariush. How is camp been? How are you feeling as you draw closer to this one?
That camp's always good. Here at Team Oyama in Irvine, California. Man, all I can say is just a hotter fire makes a sharper sword, and it's definitely always hot here.
Your team is just crazy. You guys all have fights all the time. It's always busy in there. What's it like being in an atmosphere, in an environment like that, where everyone's getting ready for fights all the time?
Dude, it's great. I'm 30 years old. I got 2 kids and a wife, and so back home I'm very, very comfortable, So, man, come to Team Oyama, it's like I see a lot of these guys, man, just a lot of young guys and up-and-comers, just, man, mad fire in their eyes, and I can see it, and I see it every day. So it's kind of cool to see it and to experience it again, and it's like, man, I still have it in me, Man, day in, day out, just grinding. So, huge opportunity for me, coming up against Beneil Dariush. But it's just, man, very excited to perform and show the fans and Frank Camacho 3.0, because in our last fight it was 2.0. If that my math is correct.
I think you're good, man. And you talk about the opportunity, but I think it's going to be pretty hard to top what happened with your last fight when we saw Frank 2.0, because heading into that fight, you sign a new deal with the UFC, then you finish Nick Hine, and then you meet a really new friend, a really special thing with Caleb Cruz. You guys have an incredible story to tell, an incredible memory, thanks to the help of Make-A-Wish. And reading that story that Nolan King wrote for MMA Junkie was something else. Just incredible stuff for sure. Outside of maybe winning a UFC title, it's going to take something pretty special to top that stretch of time, right?
Oh, man, yeah, for sure. And man, I just want to give a shout out to Caleb Cruz, man, amazing kid. It really makes me thankful for being in the business that we're in, to be able to meet awesome kids like that and awesome individuals. And, at first it was kind of crazy because, Make-A-Wish asked me to work with Caleb. And I was like, yeah, maybe it's my way of giving back, but man, working with him and hanging out with him daily, dude, it was more like he was inspiring me, Like, the kid was just awesome, and again, just very blessed to be in the business that we're at.
Have you talked to him recently? What does he think about this matchup?
I haven't talked to him about this matchup. He's definitely a huge fan, and he always promises me to get his favorite candy after a win. So, man, I'm going to try to get that bonus.
And now you get Beneil Dariush, perennial top 15 guy for quite some time. Had a couple of losses. The most recent one was to Alex Hernandez, but he's bounced back with a couple of wins. How did you react when you saw Beneil Dariush on the other side of that contract?
So when I got the call, I was more so very humbled, because I know he's a tough guy. Everyone's tough, right? But he's tough and he's good, and he's a former single-digit ranked guy. So if anything, just super humbled that the UFC had me matched up against him, and I see a huge opportunity. It's a huge opportunity to climb the ranks.
How excited are you to be fighting in Singapore? Because you made your UFC debut on that card a couple of years ago, the card headlined by Holly Holm and Betch Kahea. How excited are you to get back to Singapore and try to come out of there with the victory?
And so Singapore is a very special place in my heart, because, I made my debut there. And unfortunately, I didn't get the win. I have a chance to redeem myself. UFC fans in Singapore are dope. And then not only that, have you been to Singapore? I've
never been there now.
Oh gosh, dude, the city of Singapore is like the city of the future. It's beautiful. No trash. The way Singapore's run is dope. You know, I mean, I don't know the whole political side or whatever, but just the experience of Singapore, yeah, amazing.
What's the difference between fans, UFC fans in Singapore compared to, fans here or fans in other parts of the world that you fought in?
So Singapore fans are a little bit different because they're more on the Asian side. So it's so nice that they still appreciate and they're still within the mindset of the romantic side of martial arts. Maybe not all the crazy smack talking or any of this or any of that. Yeah, of course they always have to fight, right? But the UFC fans there are martial arts fans, and they really appreciate a good matchup and guys that really fight with their heart, And man, that's all I do. So I've been shown a lot of love from the Singaporean fans.
Does fighting in a place like that with that mentality amongst the fans, that sort of like rejuvenate your love for martial arts? I mean, I know you're a big martial artist. You believe in, all the things that come with being a martial artist, but fighting in a place like that where even the fans appreciate it, what is that like for you as a fighter to be in that environment?
So I think that's why Singapore is very special to me because, man, my debut, man, I fought with all my heart and all my soul, and they made me, and they appreciated it, and it was kind of like, man, I've been doing this for 15 years, and it was just kind of like a cool way of gratification, like, wow, man, like, wow, these guys actually appreciate, like, the effort and the heart that I'm putting into this game, and then, I mean, even though like I was yelling in there and I was trying to like take people out, I was trying to take out the leech, but and now I'm in a better place, like being a competitor. But it was just so nice, man, that they appreciate that, and that's why Singapore is going to be a special place in my heart.
Despite winning his last couple of fights, a lot of people feel like Dariush has, people say he's lost a step. He's not as dangerous as he was when he was knocking out guys like James Vick a couple of years back. What do you think about that based on what you've seen and how you've been preparing for this fight?
So if you look at Dariush's last fight with Dober, you see things that he doesn't like, but you see things that he's really good at, and the stuff that he's really good at is makes him very dangerous, which is why he was ranked at a top 10 level, I just gotta stick to the game plan that we've been working on and just let them fly.
What does a win over Beneil Dariush do for you in the landscape of this division? Like, lightweight is pretty loaded up. It's probably one of the deepest. It probably is the deepest division in the sport right now. But that means there's a lot of fun, exciting matchups that could happen in your future. So what does a win in 2 weeks' time against a guy like Dariush in Singapore do for your place at 155 in the UFC?
So I went over Dariush, and I know the UFC lightweight division is stacked. Conor McGregor, you're taking everything I work. No, just kidding. No. I just want to get this. I just want to get a good performance in. Really implement the game plan that we've been working on, and just constantly learn and grow. Getting a guy like Beneil to be matched up like after the fight with Nick Hein. I am super stoked, and I can't wait to what the UFC is gonna have set for me for my next fight after this win. I'm not a decision guy. I'm gonna try to get the finish, but at the end of the day, we're gonna try to get that double check and get that win.
Are you sticking? I know you've had fights both at lightweight and at welterweight. Is it fair to say you're sticking at 55, or you're just gonna take, like, if opportunities arise, regardless of what weight class it is, you're going to jump on them? I'm
really open, but right now 55 is where I need to be.
And how do you see this all playing out on October 26th?
Sounds so cliche, right? The answer for this question, but I really see myself getting the finish, and I see myself getting the win.
I mean, I think that's the sort of where we're at right now, because we've had the Mystic Max and all that stuff saying, like, I'm going to knock him out in the first round. And then if you don't do that, you feel like you're adding extra pressure onto yourself, right?
Yeah. Flying omoplata.
What's that?
No, I'm just kidding. Flying omoplata.
Oh, okay. I like it. You broke up there. That's why I didn't hear it. That'd be amazing if you actually called that. We'll have to play this one forever.
I know, right?
So what I find interesting about you, just kind of going back and doing my homework, is, you know, and you sort of touched on this. You found yourself in these wars, yet you're not a fan of getting in these wars, essentially. Like, I've heard you say that you hate confrontation. Your last performance against Nick Hine was really impressive. You said on the microphone to Dan Hardy that we're seeing a new version of you. I guess that's Frank 2.0. What is Frank 3.0? Do we have to wait till October 26th to figure that out, or can you enlighten us a little bit on how we go from 2.0 to 3.0?
You know, yeah, so Frank Camacho 2.0 to 3.0. I'm excited to see 3.0, you know, and it's really just coming down. The last fight camp, I was able to just kind of like really dial things in, and now coming into this camp again, it's really just trusting the process even more, you know, and trusting my coaches even more, and just trusting the process and just do what I do best and go out there and have fun and let it rip.
How much discipline does it take to be a little? I mean, because clearly in your last fight you were a little more patient, much more technically sound. I mean, you're still letting it rip, like you said, but you know that crank mode, so to speak, has been dialed down a little bit. Did it take a lot for you to get to that place? Did it take sort of a lot of discipline and work to kind of tone it down a little bit?
And you know, I honestly I give the credit a lot to my coaches that I didn't go crank mode in my last fight. If you watch my last fight and you listen to my corner, if you listen to Alex and you listen to Coach Oyama, they were saying different things that would remind me not to do it, you know, versus telling me not to do it. I don't know if you can understand what I'm saying. You know, like Alex was saying, man, stay behind the jab, stay behind the jab. So it was kind of like, it would remind me to, okay, I don't need to throw this overhand, right hand, left hook, you know, like I need to really just stick to the game plan and just listen, man. Like, what the hell? Just listen, you know? So, super stoked. And that's, I can't wait for October 26th, Singapore.
So you're telling me off air that you're heading to Vegas right now. What's going on in Vegas?
You know, I've never been to UFC PI. So, one of the guys were heading up, so I was like, let me head out.
And final question, because I didn't actually see the answer to the question on Instagram, but I saw your latest post. It looks like you were doing some snorkeling or some diving deep down in the water there. You asked how far down you were. So when did you take that photo? Where did that happen? And how far down in the water were you?
Oh yeah, so yeah. If you check out that post, I free dove to a bunch of like scuba divers, you know, and it was probably like 25 feet. Probably 25 feet, and I was just hanging out for a little bit. And I'm an island boy, so like just man, give me a snorkel and I'll just hit the water all day. And then we're just really blessed, like back home in Guam and Saipan and the Marianas, you know, the water, it's like 85 all year, so it's like snorkeling all year. So, and then water transparency, you could see like, man, 100 shot, you can see so far.
It's unbelievable, man. Well, you enjoy your time in Vegas at the UFC PI. I heard the place is absolutely amazing, and I'm sure you're going to find that out for yourself and just be blown away by it. At least that's what everybody tells me that has been there and checked it out. But before we let you go, man, before we let you go, let the folks know where they can hit you up on social media, find and follow you, all that good stuff. Any shout-outs, sponsors, the floor is yours.
Yeah, man, you know, first of all, I just want to, thank the wifey she's the MVP for watching my two boys back home. You know, thank God for technology, you know, I get to Skype with them, FaceTime or whatever. To Team Oyama, always. And just, man, everyone a part of this journey. Special shout out to Miss Mary Jane. Man, you guys rock. Dude, this camp has been freaking hard, so recovery is always on point, and definitely going to go to the PI, the UFC PI, to get some recovery in. Dr. Kessler, OC5 Docs, man, there's, you know, people say that this is when I get into the cage, right, it's just me, but it's really a family team effort, and when we get that win, it's gonna be not my win, it's gonna be our win. So, and thank you, Mike, thank you for having me, bro.
Enjoy your time out there. All the best to you on October 26th.
Thanks, brother. Take care.